Pokemon Pocket TCG has some big news. Trading and a new set is coming. And in today's video, we're going to go through it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and read this tweet that comes officially from the operations team at Pokemon TCG Pocket. I'm going to go ahead and kind of skip the thanks part of it and just get into the detail. So, they just kind of thank us for everything, and they've got a big future major update. So, to begin with, we plan to add a new booster pack by the end of the year. In addition, we are aiming to add a feature that allows certain types of cards to be traded starting in January 2025. Certain cards, we can make some inferences about what this means, and we'll definitely talk about that in a little bit here. We are planning to gradually expand the selection of cards that are able to be traded. Also, we have other new features in development outside of the trade feature introduced here. We plan to announce more details about the update as the dates for the addition of these features are finalized, so please look forward to it. We hope you continue to enjoy playing Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. And don't forget to open your packs each day. Thank you, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket operations team. So, let's dive a little bit more into this. The first thing that I want to dive into is the fact that they have other features besides trading. That is really cool. That's gonna open up doors for just so many things. Like, I can't even think of anything else you can do with TCG besides trading. Maybe they're going to add some kind of like in-game tournament mode. That's really the only thing I can think of right now. If you guys can think of any other kinds of features, then definitely leave a comment down below. Maybe more community type stuff. Who knows? Now let's go ahead and move on to the fact that they are going to be implementing trading, but only for certain cards, and what exactly this means. So, the fact that they use the wording certain cards, we can assume that this means that the higher rarity cards are not going to be able to be traded at the beginning of this update. They just have to use corporate speak, right? Professional speak, and just not spill all of the beans on what this trading feature is going to include, so that it doesn't stir up, kind of controversy in the social media sphere. All we can do is speculate, but I'm pretty sure we can assume that things like crown gold cards are not going to be able to be traded, and probably immersive cards cannot be traded. But anything that are like 3 diamonds and below, so like your EX cards, your normals, your regular rares, and probably I'm thinking your illustration rares can also probably be traded, I'm thinking at the start, but definitely not your crown rares and your immersive rares, and also cards like Mew. So I'm thinking that that's how trading is going to initially work at the start. In addition, there's going to be some kind of limit that has to be imposed. Probably some kind of level requirement is going to be needed to be achieved in order to start trading, as well as maybe it's going to cost some kind of currency like the Stardust for your flare, or maybe you have to have a certain amount of copies before you can trade. Or there's going to be some kind of daily limit imposed on how much you can trade, kind of like in Pokemon Go. You can only do like special trades a certain amount of day each time. So there's going to be some kind of restriction placed on trading. I'm pretty sure we can guarantee that, because there just has to be some kind of time gate on these things. Otherwise, the hardcore players are just going to trade everything on day one, and also with the fact that you can create alternate accounts pretty easily for Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. They definitely have to find a way to solve that problem. So yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments what you guys think on how they're going to be implementing trading in the future update. Now let's go ahead and talk about the potential new card set coming. And according to leaks, there are actually going to be 2, count them, there's going to be 2 new card sets coming in the future. So Central Leaks is a pretty credible leaker, and they're saying that the first one is scheduled for December 16th, and it's probably a special booster pack. So when they say special booster pack, I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like a mini set, even though in here it says something similar for the current Genetic Apex expansion. So I'm thinking they're talking about, like, the promos with like the Lapras event, so maybe like some kind of mini set kind of similar to that. And then the next expansion, A2, is planned to release on January 29th. So this is the expansion that I think is going to be as large as our current set right now, that is going to, you know, bring in a lot of new cards, like 200 plus, whereas this first one is probably going to be something like 50 or something like that. Something not too crazy, but will hopefully change the meta, but not going to have like as huge of an impact as the one in January. So that's how I think it's going to go down. And I also hope that they introduce Burn and Confusion with this new set, because currently in the game, Burn and Confusion are nowhere to be seen. And those are two status conditions that are currently in the physical TCG Pokemon trading card game, not currently in Pocket. So I'm thinking that with one of these sets, we can definitely see the debut of those status conditions. And if you don't know how those status conditions work, it is explained in the tooltips, but I have this TCG article opened up right now, and it's very similar. We could also just open up the in-game tooltips to look at it, but I kind of already have looked at it. But basically, Asleep, Confused, and Paralyzed, these are the status conditions that cannot be stacked, but Burned and Poisoned can be stacked. So an easy way to remember this is that the damage dealing status conditions can be stacked, and then the status conditions that skip your turn cannot be stacked, because, yeah, you know, if you stack those turn skipping status conditions, I can see that being very, very frustrating. So we don't want to be able to do that. And so you combine Burn and Poison, though, you get 30 damage per turn, which is quite a lot of damage currently in Pokemon Pocket. So, you know, that might actually be a meta changer if we can consistently get Burned and Poisoned off quickly. And then, of course, you can combine that with Asleep, Confused, or Paralyzed, giving them 3 different status conditions on them, which is pretty crazy, right? Basically, pretty much forces them to switch out, as long as they don't get completely destroyed by one of these, which prevents them from switching out. So the thing actually about Confused, though, in Pocket is that I believe that you don't take any damage. Let's fact check that in just a second. But in the TCG, when you fail the coin flip while you're confused, you actually take 30 damage. And 30 damage in Pocket is a ton of damage. So I think it makes sense that they made it so that Confusion actually doesn't damage yourself. Again, like I said, it doesn't say anything about taking damage in the tooltips in the actual game. All right, so I have it pulled up right here. We can take a look at Confused. It says that when confused Pokemon attack, the owner must flip a coin. If heads, the attack works normally, but if tails, the attack doesn't happen and the player's turn ends. So, like I mentioned, in the physical TCG game, you actually take 30 damage, but it seems like in Pocket, you don't take any damage. So this is pretty much very similar to Asleep and Paralyzed, except you do have the option to retreat. So it's kind of like a worse version of Paralyzed and Asleep. It just prevents you from attacking. That seems to be the only thing that Confusion kind of gives us. Whereas Burn, you take 20 damage instead of 10 during checkup, but unlike Poison, you can recover from Burn with a coin flip. So there you go, guys. That's kind of how it works. All right, well, that's everything that I had to cover in today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely leave a comment down below on how you guys think trading is going to be implemented, as well as what you guys think the new expansion is going to bring to the game. And subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon TCG Pocket content. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.